will bounce back. But some of the heat will remain on the earth. But take note, we have what we call as the greenhouse gas up there, the atmosphere. When the heat of the sun goes to the earth, it bounces back, and some of the heat are trapped in what we call as the greenhouse gas. Now, the greenhouse gas is actually acting right like a mirror. It reflects back the heat to the earth. This is what we call as the greenhouse gas effect. So the greenhouse gas effect, after all, is very important to all of us because it regulates the temperature of the earth. Now, the problem is we use our cars, we have so many cars, we use our electricity, and most of these sources are coming from what we call as the oil. The moment we use our electricity, the moment we use our cars, it produces what we call as the greenhouse gas. And if we're using that too much, we're throwing too much garbage in the landfill. And in that landfill, it produces another kind of greenhouse gas, which we call as methane. So methane is 27 times potent than that of the ordinary greenhouse gas, which is carbon dioxide. So when the greenhouse gas goes up to the atmosphere, it thickens. Ubaga pagayo. The moment the heat of the sun strikes the earth, it goes back. Most of the heat are trapped in the greenhouse gas. When this heat is being fed back to this earth, now we start what we call as the global warming. If we have that global warming thing, the idea there is that whatever body of water is there, it evaporates. And that phenomenon is what we call as El Nino. So El Nino is dryness and absence of water. If we don't have water or scarce water, the problem with the farmers, they cannot grow. They need water. So there's a problem of what we call as, of course, agricultural production or our food. But you know, what comes up, the earth balances itself. What comes up
Shall come
comes
down.
down. So parts of the earth, grabe ang iyang dryness, but there are parts of the earth that is too much water. What we call as La Nina. So what we're doing actually in this earth is what we call as a self-destruction. So what we need to do as members of PAREB is we need to minimize this. Okay, and this is what we are going to share with you. Now, what happens if there would be too much init sa kalibutan? Now, this hotness, pag na dito sa lapit sa dagat, and we know for a fact, ano yung hinala na to, low pressure, magsugat ang libog-naon, ibabaw sa dagat, ug ang kainiton, it will create this storm. Mao na ni mag-create og hangin, then storm, and then mo na ng typhoon. So mag-anam kainit, mag-anam pag-usok ang, of course, ang storm and typhoon. So this is destruction to all of us. Okay? Now, this is just one example. But let us go to the facts right now. Every 1 minute, kada usak ka minuto, 60 seconds, there are 4 Filipinos being board. So count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 60. Upat ka baby, in 1 day, 6,000 Filipinos, and in 1 year, 2 million Filipinos. Right now, we're about 120 million. Okay, so next. Well, we are number 13. Sabi ko kalibutan, no? Kita mo yung pinakakusog mga anak. 13. Now, one good thing here is that kung magdaghan ng tao, of course, madaghan ang negosyo sa PAREB. It's good. Actually, good business could be natutanan. But what we need to do is to try to find a balance between, of course, economics and, of course, the environment. Environment is actually the sources of life. We need to control it. We need to find ways to protect them. Because without that, then we don't have to sell. Now, ang ito mo magod, grabe ang unsustainable extraction of resources. Kung sana, kita ninyo ang atong, of course, ang atong trees, atong ikat. But take note, ang usa ka tree will grow about 15 years, 20 years, dako na kayo. When you cut it, kadut lang. But to grow it, it's another 20. So, that's the problem. No. Sa atong yung Pilipinas, we have 30 million hectares. Sa Tipog yun. Ito yung Pilipinas. Now, during the time, balik ko ito mo, sa 1900, ang 20 million ni Ana, basically, is forested, like greens, no? In 1938, ang greens, 16 million na lang. Pero kung 1988, 20 million, 800,000. And we don't know really kung karon ba si 500,000 na lang na kasi hindi naman kaya tayo pamoto without actually replenishing them. So this is very scary. Okay? So that's the reason. It's up into the mountains. Take note that the trees are the one that keep the water, brings the water down to recharge our water table. The moment there's no charging,
Makes sense.
condition ng tubig. That's why right now in the mountains, tubig kayo wala na kayo dito, 95 to 99% sa tubigan dito wala na. So right now, the city government is bringing tons of water from the city going to the mountains right now. Mauna, there's no production of agricultural goods, isud ang pagkaon, everything is actually very messy. So, makita ninyo, 1900, mauna, green pa kayo, but right now, gamay na lang din siguro tayo na.
Blue na siya.
Next.
Blue na siya.
Now,
Did the green.
the moment you have increase in population, certainly you need to feed a lot of people. So, what you do, of course, increase mo ang ating production. Sa unang time, of course, wala pa tayong fertilizer. But look, right now, because we want to produce more, so magkinahanglan tayo magkano daghan kayo, and we need to fertilize, and we need to put pesticides. This is what we call as the chemical cycle story. When we plant, in order to grow very fast, we put chemical fertilizer. But you know, when you put chemical fertilizer in the soil, it will make the soil acidic. So the moment you're going to plant the next season, sunod planting, magandang kadako ang imong, ingala na ito o fertilizer na itutang. Now, when you put chemical fertilizer in the plants, it will grow very fast. Kusog kayo. But it will grow very fast, pero dili na siya himsuba. Pareho na anak sa dato na magsuroy-suroy, na i-made na magkaroon itong baby powder, pasiritan, yalintuhan, at good morning na lupa, dunan sa langaw, hilantan. Pero kanang mga bata na organic na carbon, nagkitagan mo sila, wanan, tulungan sa patayan na daw. But anyway, the point here is this. The moment you use chemical fertilizer, dili na siya stored, dili na siya kambok tanaon, pero dili na siya himsog. So what comes is pesky. So the pesky, because you want more production, tanganin mo pesticide. And a small amount of pesticide will just kill the pest. Mamatay, gamay man siya. But take note that the toxic elements are there in the vegetables. So what happened? You eat, and of course, hindi ka mamatay tayo, but you're slowly killing yourself. So, in how many years of eating this kind of thing, ang tubig contaminated, ang air contaminated gihapon, so you get sick. Pag antunin mo sa doctor, then okay, you're given a certain amount of antibiotic, say 200 milligrams or 250. Sunod na sad, balik ka, 500. Of course, until you die. When you die, you will have this coffin of minuta. It is painted with polyurethane. Grabe ang dagang toxic elements. And then, after benediction ng guy, you would put 6 to the ground. And take note that the polyurethane and all the other chemicals will not disappear. It will be still there. The moment it rains, it percolates towards the ground and then mixed with this chemical, it goes to the water table, and then MCWD will pump it up. It has a lot of bacteria. So what we put is another kind of chemical, which is chlorine. Because sa chlorine, kung may tayo, mamatay ang